Breaking the cycle. Healing from intergenerational trauma for collective identity recovery. Explore how inherited trauma shapes us and discover paths to healing family wounds and reclaiming collective identity. Understanding generational trauma and healing our collective identity. You ever notice how sometimes we react to stuff in ways that don't really make sense at first? Like sudden moods, unexplainable fears, or even struggles in relationships that feel like they're out of nowhere? Well, a big part of that can come from something called generational trauma, a phenomenon where emotional wounds, stress, and pain get passed down through families and communities over decades, even centuries. Now, this isn't just about one person's experience. It's about how the effects of ancestral trauma, family trauma, and inherited trauma shape who we are, not just individually, but as entire groups and communities. You could say it's like a kind of emotional DNA. Those unaddressed stories and pains ripple through generations and influence our collective identity. What's fascinating is that this transgenerational trauma isn't always obvious. A lot of times, the original trauma might have happened way back, like during a war, forced migration, systemic oppression, or other historic hardships. But the impact lingers, showing up as anxiety, mistrust, or even physical health issues in descendants who never personally experienced those events. So, what happens when we start acknowledging this multigenerational trauma? How do we begin to reclaim our identity from it, instead of being stuck in cycles of pain or confusion? The first step is recognition. When we understand that some of our reactions or struggles aren't just personal failings, but inherited patterns, it opens the door for healing. This is where the concept of collective identity recovery comes into play. It's about communities coming together to tell their stories, share their heritage, and consciously work to rewrite the narrative. Healing generational trauma isn't something done alone. It's a shared journey, a communal effort to repair the emotional and spiritual fabric torn by past wounds. One resource that really shines in this space is the generational algorithm. It explores how these inherited emotional patterns function like an algorithm, repetitive habits and reactions encoded in us without our awareness. The book offers insight into how we can actively disrupt those patterns and begin reprogramming ourselves and our families toward healing and growth. Imagine being able to trace the roots of your struggles and not only understand where they come from, but also how to release their hold on your life. That's the powerful promise of tackling intergenerational trauma head-on. You move from being a victim of your family history to becoming an active creator of your own and your community's emotional future. When communities engage in this kind of healing, the impact is massive. It affects mental health, relationships, cultural connections, and even inspires future generations to live more freely and mindfully. It's like breaking a chain that's long been dragging behind us and stepping into a new way of being. If this sounds like something you want to explore further, grab your copy of The Generational Algorithm on Amazon. It's a thoughtful guide that helps you acknowledge and rewrite these emotional codes that have run through your family tree for so long. So next time you feel stuck in an emotional pattern that seems bigger than just you, remember, it might be part of a larger story, and that story can be rewritten, one step at a time.